Hi everyone, happy Women Wednesday and hope you're doing well. Also happy release date of Rihanna's Savage Fenty fashion show. It is always a holiday or day worth celebrating in my opinion. Looking forward to watching it later tonight. Today we're going to be talking about lube and other savvy tools for the bedroom, and we'll get started momentarily as soon as we get Whitman-Walker in the space. But I hope everyone's having an amazing day and enjoyed the super beautiful weather we had this past weekend in the middle of November. But to get started, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Whitman-Walker's community health team has expanded its outreach efforts to the social media platform. We cover various topics about HIV and STIs, sexual health practices, access to care, social determinants of health, and public health interventions. The community health team is here to educate and support you. If you are a person who's in need of HIV or STI testing, you can always give Whitman-Walker a call at 202-797-4439, and you can schedule an HIV or STI testing appointment at either their Max Robinson Center or their 1525 14th Street location on 14th Street. Thanks folks for joining. What's up, Soul Like Soul? Hi, Yele. Thanks for being here. Hope you all are having amazing days. And we've got Whitman-Walker in the room in a second. Awesome. Thanks, Whitman-Walker. So, my name is Jewel, and I use she, hers pronouns, and I work to bring educational Instagram lives to this space with Whitman-Walker's community health team. Today, we're going to discuss different types of lube and other savvy tools for the bedroom. So, the type of lube or tools or barriers and condoms that you use is definitely a personal preference. But if you're unsure of the safer sex practices of your partner and neither of you have gotten tested recently, using any barrier method is super important regardless of the type. Barriers and condoms simply help you to protect your health if you pursue sexual activities with other people. So they help prevent the exchange of fluids, bodily fluids, whether it's semen or cum or vaginal or front hole fluids or blood. So lube also helps protect your sexual health as it prevents cuts and tears during sex, as STIs can be transmitted more easily through these tears. But let's talk about lube. So lube tends to have a really bad stigma attached to it. People mostly think it's just for dry vaginas or dry front holes, but it really does support pleasure for all sexual parties involved. And it helps prevent these cuts and tears, again, that transmit STIs easily. That said, it's always good to use extra lubricant or extra lube to make condoms more comfortable and more fun, to reduce the risk of a condom breaking, especially during anal sex or like penetrative sex period. Also, you want to use it on the outside of female or male or FC2 condoms, or the regular condom, the most common condom. And you can also use it inside and around the vagina or front hole or anus. When you try to say vaginal and vagina at the same time. Yeah, so you want to use it also for vaginas or front holes or anuses. To increase pleasure and safer sex, be sure to use adequate lubrication or lube during vaginal or front hole or anal sex, which might require water-based lubricants more often. Oil-based lubricants, so think petroleum jelly or shortening or mineral oil or massage oils or body lotions or coconut oil or any cooking oil. You don't want to use these. They should not be used because they really weaken latex and they cause breakage. So they make condoms less effective. A lot of condoms are made out of latex, so you do want to avoid those. It's also important to note that many condoms are covered in some type of lubricants already, but you can always add more lube, but you definitely want to go for either a water-based or silicone as your first choice. So which one of those two makes more sense to use? Both water-based and silicone-based lubricants are safe to use with condoms. It's only lubes that have oils that you have to avoid using with condoms, again, because they degrade the quality and effectiveness of the condom at preventing STIs or from breaking to prevent unplanned pregnancy. The main difference between water-based and silicone-based lubricants are that water-based lubricants flush out of the body and wash off the body a lot easier than silicone. They're also more widely available. They're available in flavored and warming variations. They're less expensive, and they will be less likely to stain sheets, but not always. So heads up. Silicone-based lubricants contain no water, so they never dry up or evaporate, aka they stay wetter for longer. They require soap and water to come off the skin. They don't absorb in the skin. They're generally more expensive, but you get to use less of it because, again, a little goes a long way, and it doesn't dry up as quickly. It stays wetter longer, but it also might stain your sheets. So this might be a time to pull out your least favorite sheets if you are using some silicone-based lube. Now let's talk about condoms and barriers. I'm going to skip the regular condom. I think a lot of folks are familiar with it. It gets a lot of promotion, if you will, but I think the main thing to know about that is the reason why that condom, it can be less effective, is that a lot of people use it incorrectly. So visit YouTube, search how to use a condom correctly, and you'll actually find a video by Whitman-Walker that's been available for a handful of years, and they'll run you through the proper use of how to put on a condom correctly and make sure you're using it effectively. So we'll start off with female condoms, or FC2s. Female condoms are fantastic nitrile sacks that fit inside the vagina or the rectum or the front hole, and they're very comfy to wear. Despite the name, they can be worn by people of any gender. And when they're worn in the vagina or the front hole, they stay in place with a flexible ring on the inside that fits snugly against the cervix, or just like the inner part of the front hole of the vagina. And another ring is on the outside, which is meant to rest against the vulva, so like externally outside of the vagina or the front hole. So again, you've got like the same kind of tubular shape of a regular condom or a male condom, and there's a ring on either side of it to help it stay in place internally and to help it kind of stay in place externally. You can also use FC2s for anal use. So just one thing to remember, you've got to remove the inner ring before you insert it into an anus. You also want to keep the outer ring outside of the wearer's body. And I've heard really great reviews about FC2s, and specifically from someone who was at an event where I was passing out condoms. He just came over super enthusiastically and cleared us out of all of our FC2s to use with his partner because he just is such a big fan of them. Next up, we have gloves. So gloves are made of latex or nitrile, and they're safe for people with latex allergies. Nitrile is safe for people with latex allergies, just to clarify. And they come in different sizes and colors. Gloves protect you while you explore manual stimulation, like hand jobs or fisting. Plus, with a bit of lube, gloves become super slippery and sexy tools of pleasure that glide smoothly over the skin. Using one finger's worth of a glove can also be a great condom for someone who is AFAB or who was assigned female at birth and may be on hormones that cause their clitoris or their dick to enlarge. You can also use oral sex dental dams. So dams are thin, silky, smooth sheets of latex or polyurethane that's designed to make oral vaginal or oral frontal or oral anal contact safe and pleasurable for both partners. Put some lubricants on the area to be licked and lay the sex dental dam gently on top of the skin, but don't stretch it out. You're gonna puncture it possibly, or just make it not effective at preventing STIs and whatnot, which is what it's really meant to do. But yeah, once you lay it down, you can start performing oral sex and lick away. Finally, another fun one that I feel like folks aren't as familiar with is saran wrap. So you can use saran wrap as a barrier. The most effective way to use it is for oral sex on a vagina or a front hole or on an anus. And so what you'll want to do is cut off a pretty big piece of saran wrap, and whoever is receiving oral sex, you'll want to have them like sit on half of it and then kind of fold the other half of the saran wrap over the area where they're going to receive oral sex. So if they're receiving it in their frontal part or their frontal or vagina, you want to flip the saran wrap. You want to have them sit with their butt on the saran wrap and then flip it over onto their frontal part. And if it's the other way around, same thing. Make them like lay on their stomach and flip the saran wrap over to their anus. So, and because lube is our all-star of today's Instagram Live, you want to also squeeze a little bit of lube between the area that the oral sex will be performed on and where the saran wrap goes. This will make for a more pleasurable experience for whoever's receiving oral sex. Now, a few other tools and some tips and resources for an intimate session. If you want, you can set the mood by lighting candles, wearing some lingerie. Again, shout out to the Savage Fenty Rihanna show happening today, or that came out today. You can set the mood with different lighting. You can also engage in eating some aphrodisiacs, so like strawberries or chocolate, or drinking champagne or having oysters, whatever floats your boat. You can also, use your hands and fingers as you wish in terms of sexual engagement. You can engage with movable shower heads. You can use a pillow or other soft object to rub your vulva or other pleasurable erogenous zones against. You can use your imagination. Maybe you have a fantasy that you've written down or always had in the back of your mind that you want to play out with a partner. And if that's failing you, you can always explore written or visual erotica or pornography. So like visualpornhub.com or 4chamberedheart.com, written lite, L-I-T-E, erotica.com, or audiobooks.com, or Tipsy are all options. You can also use Lube, as we've discussed extensively today, or you can use toys and vibrators. A few to shout out include the Hitachi Magic Wand, which actually came out originally as just like a neck massager or vibrator, but people started to use it, I guess more effectively. And it's been a like best-selling sex toy ever since. There's also, other stores and other toys that you can engage with or purchase for your own use or for use with partners. But some online stores include us.funfactory.com, lelo.com, Lelo.com. I didn't know that I was on their listserv and got an email today. They've got a sale running right now. So if you are looking or shopping for stuff for Christmas or for yourself or what have you, they do have like a up to 50% sale going on right now. Also, Walmart.com sells toys, so feel free to check out any of those websites. And then stores in the DMV, there's Bite the Fruit in DuPont Circle in Washington, D.C. There's Lotus Blooms in Alexandria, Virginia, and there's Heart's Desire in Suitland, Maryland. Finally, you can get creative and just, whatever your personal definition of creativity is, you can use that to be a sexy tool for you in the bedroom. Just make sure that there's consent involved. Finally, ice and foods. Maybe you're ready to explore some temperature play by sucking on ice before kissing or licking or sucking on your partner. That's a thing that you can definitely do. And if you're both into sweets or one of these into sweet treats, you could also explore some kissing, licking, and or sucking with chocolate, honey, caramel, and or whipped cream. You name it, whatever is your sweet of choice you can use. Just know that things will get sticky, so be prepared for some cleanup and maybe use your least favorite sheets or beddings. Also, avoid putting these super sweet items in areas like the vagina or front hole. It's just not a thing that vaginas or front holes really love and might cause you discomfort or a later infection, but may stick to it on nipples or chest areas or other erogenous zones. But yeah, that's what we've got for you today. Before we go, I just wanted to again remind you that if you're looking to access HIV or STI testing, you can get it through Whitman-Walker by calling 202-797-4439 to schedule a testing appointment. You can also visit whitman-walker.org/testing to see their testing hours and locations. And if you or your community or your organization wants Whitman-Walker to come out and provide mobile health services in your neighborhood, please just contact mobile health at whitman-walker.org. Again, that's mobilehealth@whitman-walker.org. And you can also access HIV prevention tools like PrEP and PEP or start HIV treatment with Whitman-Walker Health. Again, you can call 202-797-4439 and they'll help you access those tools. Thanks for taking a little bit of time to learn more information about lube and savvy tools for the bedroom and how to prevent HIV and how to support your community with health care access. Before we go, I want to give you a few reminders about COVID-19 and vaccines. If you've already been vaccinated, that's awesome. Congratulations, you've taken a really important step toward preventing yourself and your loved ones from getting sick. Multiple variants have soared across the world, and it's totally understandable why you might want to keep wearing your mask. As the vaccine isn't 100% effective, it doesn't prevent new cases of COVID-19, but it does prevent people from getting super sick with COVID, ending up hospitalized with COVID, and from dying from COVID-related complications. If you haven't been vaccinated and you're looking for an appointment, Whitman-Walker Health has COVID-19 vaccine available. You can call 202-207-2480 to make an appointment. And if you are a DC resident and are looking to access a COVID-19 vaccine, you can call 1-855-363-0333 or visit vaccinate.dc.gov. If you're a Maryland resident, you can call 1-855-634-6829 or visit covidlink.maryland.gov. And if you're a Virginia resident, you can visit vaccinate.virginia.gov or call 1-877-829-4682. And if you haven't been vaccinated and you're not looking for an appointment, please continue to follow CDC guidelines for mask wearing, quarantining, social distancing, and the like. It's really important that you consider getting the vaccine and discuss COVID precautionary measures with those around you, but be mindful of masks and keep your distance when you don't know whether or not folks have been vaccinated. And because we're because we're in two public health pandemics at the same time, or crises at the same time, we want to also give you some information about monkeypox or mpox. So according to the CDC, there are more than 28,000 cases of monkeypox documented in the U.S. If you're in DC, you can pre-register for a monkeypox vaccine appointment at preventmonkeypox.dc.gov. Virginia is working with local care providers to contact trace and identify those who might be in most need of the monkeypox vaccine. Varying counties in Maryland are also allowing you to pre-register, and you can also visit the Maryland Health website, the Maryland Health Department's website to pre-register for an appointment. Also, wherever you are in the world, please visit your local state department's health department for more information on how to register and get vaccinated against monkeypox. Now, again, if you're in DC, their monkeypox vaccination clinics are located at 3640 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue Southeast in Ward 8, 5335 Wisconsin Avenue Northwest in Ward 3, and 926 F Street Northwest in Ward 2. Walk-up vaccinations are provided on a first-come, first-served basis to eligible residents, and hours vary by each day and location. So you want to visit preventmonkeypox.dc.gov to see those hours and locations, depending on what day of the week it is. Now, you're currently eligible to be vaccinated in DC if you are a District of Columbia resident who's 18 years or older, and you identify with any sexual orientation or gender, and you've had multiple sexual partners in the last 2 weeks. This also includes folks who are considered higher risk, so anyone who identifies as gay, bisexual, or other men who have sex with men, a transgender man or a transgender woman. Additionally, sex workers of any sexual orientation or gender, or staff of any sexual orientation or gender at establishments where sexual activity occurs, like bathhouses, saunas, and sex clubs. You will need to provide proof of residency prior to vaccination, so an ID card with a DC address is fine, a utility bill or other piece of mail with your name and a DC address is fine, or you can use a current DC lease with mortgage with your name on it. Thanks for tuning in today. Please remember to follow the Whitman-Walker family on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Whitman-Walker, and check the website at www.whitman-walker.org for the latest up-to-date information on their services. And for more COVID-19 resources and general information on Whitman-Walker services, you can call them at 202-797-4439 and follow some of their programs, and Whitman-Walker family at RealTalkDC_ and at NoFilterDC. Have a great rest of your day.